Dear Nicola Sturgeon, First Minister of Scotland, Excellencies and dear guests. Let me begin by thanking the organisers for the invitation to address the conference virtually. Of course, I regret not being able to be with you in person and missing out on the opportunity to discuss our shared vision and experience of building well-being economies. Iceland is proud to be a member of WEAll, a collaboration project working towards raising people's quality of life and happiness and ensuring a just transition aligned with the United Nations 2030 agenda. My government has introduced 39 well-being indicators to track the progress of our work nationally. We have prioritized 6 well-being areas built into our 5-year fiscal strategy: mental health, secure housing, better work-life balance, a carbon-neutral future, growth from innovation, and better communication and transparency. Shifting the policy focus to act on this does not happen quickly, as old habits die hard. The state is a ship that turns very slowly. We still face challenges in adopting this strategy, but on the other hand, policy solutions have been brought to the forefront by adopting this broader perspective. The recent years have been challenging, both domestically and internationally. The COVID pandemic has brought complex societal challenges, and other crises have followed, as the recent aggression on European soil demonstrates. As a result, we will have to continue to discuss and work towards strengthening societal resilience in our countries, focusing on the importance of trust, democracy, equality, and green and digital policy solutions. In this context, we can draw from the experience in mediating the COVID crisis, whereas good governance played a huge role as we constantly needed to adapt to new circumstances. Societal resilience is driven and withheld by intergenerational conversations and collaboration between various actors, public administration, private companies, frontline workers, and civil society organizations, to name a few. One of the most critical factors in the Nordic countries' success during the pandemic was a state-funded welfare system and robust healthcare institutions, to which every person is granted equal access. It was also a shared experience in the region throughout these difficult times that high levels of citizens' participation and trust towards public institutions helped gain support for the measures taken. A positive aspect, and among the most remarkable changes witnessed during the pandemic and tracked by our well-being indicators, is the increase in trust between people. At the same time, COVID-19 demonstrated the crucial importance of trust for human well-being globally. According to the latest edition of the World Happiness Report, deaths from COVID-19 in 2020 and 2021 were significantly lower in countries with high trust in public institutions and where social inequality is lower. Dear guests, economists called war in Ukraine the third asymmetric shock that we have experienced in the last 2 decades, after the 2008 financial crisis and the COVID-19 pandemic. It is asymmetric as it affects some countries more than others. The neighboring countries of Ukraine have a heavier influx of refugees and higher direct costs. Still, other European and developing countries are also significantly affected by higher food and energy prices and ongoing inflation. In this situation, there is no alternative to transnational solidarity. At the same time, the climate crisis is forcing us to rethink our way of life, our modes of consumption, production, and transportation, and how these might threaten our future. Wealth inequality becomes even more apparent when we see nature's resources in retreat. In addressing this global climate emergency and improving the well-being of current and future generations, we will need to depend on broad conversation and cooperation beyond our national borders. For this purpose, it is especially pressing to envision a different leadership approach. And this leadership will have to come from all parts of society, not the least from political leaders with diverse backgrounds, and from young people who are leading the way in fighting for the environment and the future health of our planet. I am confident that today's discussions between political leaders and young people will be enlightening, and I look forward to being informed by your messages. Thank you.